Good morning, bloggers. Hey, happy Thursday morning. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm going to do a little live Q&A today. I haven't done one in a while, so here we are. We got lots of really fantastic questions posted in the Badass Bloggers Facebook group, so thank you. And of course, make sure that you grab your free ticket to the Sanity Saving Systems Summit. It starts next week. It has over 15 presenters teaching you how to streamline your business, how to make your business organized, how to save your sanity. And I'm one of them. I'm going to be teaching on writing blog posts quicker. So let me pull up the chat here so I know where everybody's at. Good morning, Paulette. How are you? How's Southern California? All the things. Seriously, I can't find the chat. Good morning. You made it to the live. I can't see who's saying that yet because I don't have the chat pulled up. There's got to be a better way, Facebook. There's got to be a better way. Boom, found it. Nancy, it's Nancy that made it to the live. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so y'all had lots of wonderful questions. Like I said, let's go over, I know you guys can't see this, but let's go over to, I posted in the group, what's your biggest struggle with your blog right now? And y'all delivered. Okay, Nancy, I'm going to start with yours since you're here. Okay, so Nancy says writing content. It's difficult to write engaging content about bookkeeping when it's the last thing most people want to deal with, let alone do. I feel you. You know, Nancy, I bookkeep for the family biz for my day job, and I don't mind it at all. Accounting, I really liked my accounting class. I took 2 quarters of accounting, and I really loved them. So it's interesting that when it comes to my business, I loathe bookkeeping. And I think that's really common, right? We want to be creators and we want to be, spreading our message, and we don't want to think about all that stuff, right? I think that actually presents an opportunity for you, because let me tell you, a lot of the stuff about bookkeeping out there is boring and dry AF. It really is. It is not entertaining. If you even throw a smidge of personality in there, then you are going to stand out, right? If you can make bookkeeping a little bit more bearable, you're going to be just fine, right? You are going to automatically make yourself a unicorn in that arena. I'm not saying that you have to be like, blah, right? Whatever your personality is, throw it in there, right? Instead of just reading like a textbook, like a lot of the bookkeeping stuff does. And I want to show you guys a little trick. This might be the case with bookkeeping. I'm not sure, but later on in the comment section where I asked you guys what you were struggling with, Donna also was struggling writing engaging content around her math content. Again, a lot of math content we see is super, super boring. So this is an opportunity for both of you to add a little bit of spice, add a little bit of personality, instead of just like the textbook stuff we're used to reading surrounding these subjects, and blow your competition out of the water. But I also want to show you guys a little trick. Let's look at a little tricky poo. I'm going to share my screen with all y'all. All right. So Nancy, do you target one audience for your bookkeeping? Like, do you do bookkeeping for bloggers or like bookkeeping for small business owners? Is there somebody you target? In the meantime, let me show you guys the trick on the math niche. So let's say how to divide fractions. Perfect. Google will give you hints about what kind of content is popular in this niche, be it written, shopping, images, videos, and the clues they're giving you are what is coming up first here. So you have all, of course, but if the first option right here next is videos, that means video is really popular for this type of content. So people want to see a video about dividing fractions as opposed to reading a blog post. Let me see if I can find an example of, let's see, blog post checklist. So with the blog post checklist, look, it changes to images. So that makes sense because people are probably looking for an image of a blog post checklist, right? So Google will give you little hints about what is really popular surrounding this content, like what form people want to digest this content in. Oh, okay, great. So Nancy says handmade and creative business owners, knitters, crocheters, yarn dyers, pattern designers. Okay, so let's just, for shits and giggles, type in bookkeeping for small business. Video. That does not surprise me. And you know why? Because again, it has this reputation for one being a boring topic. And I'm not saying it is, but it has this rep because the content written around it is written like a textbook, right? And two, for being a topic that's kind of like unknowable and ununderstandable by a large portion of the population, which of course isn't true. It's just that not a large portion of the population will sit down and do what it takes to learn how to properly bookkeep, right? Because they don't want to. So it does not surprise me at all that video is really popular in these two niches. So where I am going with this, I am going somewhere. If video is really popular in your niche, and your niche is like really heavy tutorial how-to based, which something like math or bookkeeping is, go ahead and do a video. You don't have to show your face. In fact, videos that would be really popular would be like, I don't know if you've seen people like drawing on their iPad and they're sharing their screen on their iPad explaining an idea that way. That would be really popular. You wouldn't even have to show your face, right? You would just pretty much be teaching a class and it would have your voice over it. And then you can turn that into a blog post. So you can either embed the transcription, and oftentimes what I have found is with embedding the transcription, it does kind of keyword itself. But for tutorials, so for these how-to tutorials that would go along with bookkeeping and math, I wouldn't just embed the transcription. I don't think that's going to help anybody. Oh, Amy says like a whiteboard video. Is that what they're called? I didn't know. You know, the iPad thingy with the screen share? That's what I think it's called. Paula says my entire course never shows my face. I just showed kick-ass images. That's right. Yeah, you don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to put your mug on camera. You can still reach people with video content without showing your face. Okay, so what I would do though is make your video, because I think that that's where your strong point's going to be. But you can also, and YouTube is a search engine. It's owned by Google, right? It works like Google does as far as SEO, except for it's a little bit easier to rank because it's a lot harder than it used to be, but not everybody and their mom is out there making video, right? Because people are afraid of video. So that gives you, again, an opportunity to put some personality in it, make it semi-enjoyable, joke around or whatever personality means to you. You know what I mean? Like maybe you don't have a jokey personality, but you obviously have a personality. So throw that in there. That is what that content is missing. And so I hear you saying that it's hard to write engaging content around it. And I think part of that is because it's so tutorial based, right? It's like step 1, step 2, step 3, and especially with the math, right? You're showing what's happening with the math, not a whole lot of opportunities in there for, writing out a sentence that defines you as a person. But I mean, you could, so let's say you were in the middle of a tutorial that is kind of rough, like as in it midway through the tutorial, oftentimes when people are learning this content, they're starting to get a little overwhelmed because maybe it's something they've never done before. You could address that mid-tutorial. Be like, hey, right now, if you're feeling like this and, have a GIF of a head exploding or something, don't worry, this is totally normal. I promise you'll get this. Just keep going, right? A little blurb like that in the middle could make a huge difference for your audience. Not only will it make you stand out as the person, the bookkeeping teacher or the math teacher who actually has a personality. And I'm not saying they don't have personalities. I'm saying the stuff I read is written like a textbook. That's what I'm saying. Don't come for me. Not only will it make you stand out, but it will also help your audience, right? If you know that they're often going to feel overwhelmed at a certain point in the tutorial, you are going to help them by kind of taking the pressure off, right? Lightening the mood a little bit, letting them know it's normal to be feeling overwhelmed right now and that they can totally do it. Yeah, Nancy says, I always feel that it ends up being long, drawn out, and boring. Yeah. Okay. So I got off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Back to embedding your video in your post. So I really do think, and obviously Google agrees that video would be the best form of content for this. However, there are people, and I'm one of those people, who would rather, for a lot of things surrounding bookkeeping, math, like Excel formulas, I do this for Excel formulas all the time, I'd rather read a blog post, because oftentimes when I'm looking for that stuff, I'm at work, right? There's customers in the office. So what I would do is you can take that transcript of your blog post, and instead of just embedding it as a full transcript, you could break it up. So add your subheadings, put in your cute formulas, whatever the formula is for dividing fractions or whatever it is you're doing. So make the content digestible solely in reader form, but then have that video available for the masses that want to read it that way. Because Google is telling you that's how they want to read it. That's how they want to consume it. And I think it's a lot easier to put your personality into a video for most people than it is to put it into your writing. Now, you can totally put it into your writing. It's just going to take practice. It's going to take a lot of practice, but it's the same amount of practice it would take for any niche, right? To learn how to make your writing ooze with the essence of you. Right? Okay, Amy says whiteboard video or iPad screen share thingies. Yes, the thingies. That's right. Those are really great questions though, you guys. And I think it's something a lot of people struggle with. I struggled with it in the beginning. My blog posts were, first of all, they were a wall of text, right? They were like 3 to 5 sentences long, the paragraphs were, which don't do that. They should be 1 to 3 sentences, and that's if they're short sentences. And no images, and they were written like a research paper. That's all I knew. Well, I mean, that's not true. I took a shit ton of creative writing classes, but I didn't understand that writing a blog post was like melding copywriting and creative writing and a little bit of research writing, like all into one, right? Because the most important factor is engaging your audience and keeping them reading. Because you could have the most amazing blog post ever, and if people don't keep reading it, then it doesn't matter. Oh, good. I'm glad that helps, Nancy. And then as far as learning how to incorporate your personality, I think first we have to identify what our personality is, right? So start paying attention to the way you talk, the slang you use, the jokes you crack, and start figuring out how to put that into practice, putting that into written form in a way that makes sense. Because a lot of the times the way we talk doesn't make sense at first when we write it out. It just sounds a little bit like gibberish, or maybe like we just weren't trying that hard when we wrote the sentence, when that's not the case. We're actually trying to write how we talk, right? But eventually you get to a point where you keep practicing and you are able to write a sentence that is the way you say something and somebody can hear it in their head, right? And sometimes that means phonetically spelling things out. Like the example I like to give is forget about it, right? So, you could, if you say forget about it all the time, right? You could phonetically spell out forget about it. And if you're worried still that they're not going to get it, you could put in parentheses in Tony Soprano's voice, right? Forget about it. Yeah, get creative with it. And like I said, your guys' topics, math and bookkeeping, it's an enormous opportunity, because there's so much boring textbook-like material out there on this, that if you add even just a smidge of your personality, you are going to stand out. And you're going to make the learning experience that much better for your audience, right? Win-win. Okay. Let's see what else you guys asked. I'm so excited. Okay. Amy says, I got hit really hard with the Google update. I'm sorry to hear that. Looks like traffic is down 20%. Between that, Pinterest traffic dropping, and iOS privacy updates tanking my Facebook ads. That's not a great month. Yeah, I'm sure I'll figure things out, but I wish they would talk to each other so they don't all make changes at the same time. Yeah, it does kind of feel like they all did it at the same time, right? And I wonder, I'm sure there's some like unseen reason to us that they know in Silicon Valley that we don't, why that is happening. Oh, crying faces, Amy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it might just be time to pivot, right? And it might feel like right now, it might feel like moving backwards. And I mean, when I say pivot, not your niche, I think we talked about this, not your niche, but pivot like the way people find you, right? And right now it might feel a little bit like moving backwards, but in the future, you'll probably look back on this moment and you'll be like, oh, I had to move backwards a little bit to move forward. Right? This constraint, this new constraint pushed me into this avenue that I wouldn't have gone into by myself if I didn't have to. And then that avenue worked out really well for me. Like a lot of the times in life and in business, we end up getting pushed into new avenues of exploration that we would not have explored if we were not pushed there. Is that making sense? It's like these Corona businesses, right? The COVID businesses we hear success stories about. Like people say like they never would have quit that 9-to-5 corporate job that was keeping them from doing this thing they thought about forever. But then COVID happened and they got laid off, and they had to, and they started it and they got pushed in the right direction. It was the best thing ever. But at the time it felt like going backwards, right? Amy says, yes, like a K turn in the car. I've never heard a K turn. Is that like a multi-point turn? Like Austin Powers in the little hallway? Yeah, Nancy says progress is always 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Yeah, sometimes it does feel like we are taking steps backwards, but in actuality, I mean, we might be a little bit, right? And that hurts when it takes the form of actual dollars, right? But it's freeing up that room to move forward exponentially. Yeah, Amy says a K turn. I've never heard that before. I like that. A 20,000 point turn. Okay, so we got Amy and Donna and Nancy. Arlen says, in general, how to convert TikTok followers into blog traffic specific to blog writing. I'm experiencing burnout and don't feel much like writing. Okay. I've been having so much fun on TikTok, you guys. It's a fun app. It's got a different vibe than Facebook. Not this group not included. This is like our little sanctuary here in Facebook. But have y'all noticed that when you venture outside your safe spaces in Facebook, like it kind of feels like mob mentality everywhere you go? that just me? I'll feel like I'm in a group. I'm like, no way, it's going to happen here. I'm like a gardening group where we're talking about daisies and nope, it happens. Anyway, I don't know. I like TikTok. I think it's a fun app. It has a good vibe. It stays chill. Stay chill. Anyway, okay. Arlen is crushing it on TikTok. We should have a TikTok follow day where we all drop our handles in the group like this and follow each other. So Arlen's crushing it over on TikTok. She's got 1 bazillion followers exactly. And she's wondering how she can take that and convert it into blog traffic. My question to you, Arlen, would be, what is the point of sending them to your blog? Other than it's going to help them, right? But from the business point of view, our blog is there to move our business forward and help our people. So it's got a dual purpose, right? It provides free value to our people and it moves our business forward. It isn't our business. It's there to serve our business. Oftentimes that means it's an entry point for our people to work with us on a higher level, be that courses, coaching, printables, whatever it is. So you have an opportunity here to kind of skip that blog part. And so I'm wondering if your particular audience, and I do know, so Arlen, she blogs about social anxiety. She's crushing it over on TikTok, talking to her people about social anxiety and helping them with it. So I'm wondering if your people need more warming up than other crowds, right? Which would kind of make sense. And that's the purpose to sending them to the blog, in which case you could have like a really long welcome series, right? And in your welcome series, so it could be a very, very long nurturing series where you send them a couple tips on a topic, and then you're like, hey, if you want to read all about this, I got a post on it. And by really long, I mean, I've seen welcome series that are like 2 or 3 weeks long. I have. And if most of that is nurturing, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? But you could nurture them that way. So what I'm saying is, over on TikTok, right, they go to the link in your bio and it has lots of options on the page. This is what I've usually seen, and this is what your page looked like. You could put blog posts on there, but I would offer them opt-ins and then get them into your welcome sequence. So with your welcome sequence, you could nurture them and send them back to your blog, right? And then, of course, have your flash sale or whatever it is at the end of your welcome sequence. Yeah. Amy was wondering the same thing. Yeah, maybe ad revenue. Is that why you want to send them back to your blog? I'm just not sure, what the point would be of sending them back to your blog if the blog's purpose is just to, as far as your business is concerned, is to get them into your email list. So maybe it's a point that doesn't need to be worried about. But yes, like Amy said, if the main source of income is ad income, then that could be a reason to get them over to your blog. But you could have like a really long nurturing sequence in your welcome series that just start picking your blog posts that you want to send them to, right? That you know they're going to love. It's already written. Take 3 of your best points from each blog post, put them in your email, and then, hey, if you really loved this, read the rest of the post. It's right here. Send them back there. And then P.S., everybody looks at the email signature. It's like your conclusion in your blog post. P.S., stay tuned because tomorrow we're going to talk about conversation starters at parties or whatever it is, right? And then follow up the next day with nurturing 3 points and sending them back to your blog. Oh, yeah. Okay. Amy says she talked to her a little bit in the comments and she sells a course. Yeah. If you're selling a course, then, I mean, you can kind of skip the blog. It's great. It's great for them to know that resource is there. And of course we want them to read it, right? We put all that hard work in. And so of course we want them to benefit from that. but it's not necessarily super important. They go straight from TikTok to your blog, right? Keep crushing it, Arlen. You're doing a really great job. And then as far as experiencing burnout and not feeling much like writing, Arlen has 220 blog posts. Girl, take a break. If you are experiencing burnout and don't feel like writing blog posts and you have 220 blog posts, girl, don't write blog posts. Take a break. Phew, that's a lot. Good for you. Yeah, take a break. Use the 10-minute blog post maintenance guide that it's free. The link's in the group somewhere. I can pin it to the top again. But if you go over to the Badass Bloggers Facebook group and search for maintenance, that 10-minute blog post maintenance guide will come up. And those are all things that you can do to just maintain your top performing blog posts, or blog posts that are hanging out on page 2, you want to push up to page 1. They're all relatively painless, as in they don't require a lot of creative energy. They're tasks you can do in 10-minute chunks, and it will still signal to Google that this site is being worked on and actively maintained and improved, right? Yeah, take a break and just do the 10-minute a day, or you could even do like 10 minutes every other day, or 10 minutes Monday through Friday, right? 10 minutes a couple times a week. Just to keep your site continually updated and being improved upon. And take a break from writing. Yeah, that's a lot of posts. She is crushing it, Amy. Heck yeah, totally crushing it. Okay, let's see who else we got. Okay, Rashonda said scaling my income. And I know Rashonda loves writing blog posts and makes some ad revenue and probably some affiliate revenue. So Rashonda's in the art niche. She teaches people how to draw these little things called artist cards. I also love watching Rashonda's TikToks. They're really soothing to watch. Just like the drawing happen. I don't know. It's like petting a cat. It's really soothing for some reason. Anyway, I want to offer to you guys that course creation isn't for everyone, right? And that's okay. That's okay. And if it is for you, but it's not for you right now, that's okay too. If you are feeling pulled to just keep writing blog posts and like scaling up your traffic and doubling down on like that ad and affiliate income, good for you. Work that superpower, right? There's a lot of people out there that would love to have that superpower. Organic traffic is more relevant than ever, right? As ads get more and more expensive and social media platforms get more and more competitive and harder to rank on, organic traffic is more relevant than ever. If your superpower right now is writing blog posts, run with it. Right? And especially since you have a way to monetize it. It's not like you're writing blog posts for no reason. I would wonder if there's a way to renegotiate your rates that you're getting paid. See if you can find some more profitable affiliate links. See if those affiliate links are open to negotiation based on the level of traffic you have coming in. Same thing with your ads, right? Or maybe there's a better ads company that will pay you better. And then maybe you can leverage that to get your current ad company to pay you better, right? It's like negotiating a pay raise. Yeah, if you're not feeling the course creation, like that just because that works for a lot of people, that doesn't have to be your path. Course creation is awesome, right? Selling online courses is extremely lucrative. But if you're not feeling it right now and you want to scale your ad and affiliate income, go for it, right? And continue to offer people your email opt-in. And you'll have that for later, right? For if and when you ever do decide to start selling your own courses. And if not, I mean, you can sell other people's courses. You can become an affiliate for other people and sell their courses. I know lots of bloggers who do that, who have no interest in making their own product. And that's okay. right? Everybody's journey is different. Let's see. Annie. Oh, Annie's cracked me up. She said, scaling. I keep thinking too big. Annie, I love you. Annie is fearless. And Annie's actually going to come on here sometime soon. And she has some like information for you guys about plugins. So if y'all don't know, Annie is our go-to tech fairy blog mother. She's amazing. Okay, you guys want an example of a niche that is usually written in kind of a boring, robotic, textbook way, and somebody decided to add a little bit of fairy dust to it and is now freaking crushing it? Annie. Annie, how many tech courses have we taken where the people teaching us are kind of like beep, boop, beep, what is love, right? Annie is super warm, super fun. She's hilarious, right? She's sassy. We love her. And she makes things feel doable just by adding a little bit of personality to it. She is a perfect example. Yeah, Annie's our fairy blog mother. And I think it's hilarious. I got the biggest grin when I read I Keep Thinking Too Big, because Annie sets these giant, audacious goals for herself. And then she goes and does it. I love it. Yeah. And even if like that giant audacious goal is not actually what you end up doing, you get at least a little bit of the way there, right? So a lot of the times what we do is we set these little tiny safe goals for ourselves. And if we get a little bit of the way there for that, then we only made like this teeny tiny microscopic step, right? Whereas if we set this huge audacious goal for ourselves, and we get halfway there, we've actually taken huge leaps and bounds, which is what I have watched Annie do since the beginning of this year. Somebody just like flipped a freaking switch in her. It's like, whoosh, she's gone. Just a little poof where she used to be, a dust line. Anyway, Annie, I think you're doing a great job. If you're actually struggling with something, like you want to set more actionable goals or something, like you want to break down those giant goals into actionable steps, I can help you do that. But keep dreaming big, girls. Keep dreaming big. Okay, we had one last question, and that came from Bridget. Thank you for asking, Bridget. She said, how can I monetize audio recordings of my blog? And she said that she wants to embed them in her blog posts. So, we talked about turning your blog posts into audio content a few weeks back. I have a blog post. So I embedded that live and I turned it into a blog post. That could also serve as an example for you guys of a video turned into a blog post. So, and I did embed the transcript, but I also kind of broke it out for people. So I'll drop that in the group later. What was the other thing I needed to drop in the group? Oh, the maintenance guide. Maintenance. I got to write down or I won't remember. And audio post. Okay. There are lots of ways to turn your blog posts into audio content. And the reasons for doing that is, one, yeah, you could monetize it. Two, offering your audience another way to consume your content is generally always a good idea, especially audio. I can't tell you how many blogging coaches and small business owner coaches I follow, and I found them through their podcasts. Tons, like lots and lots and lots. Most of the people I follow, right? Okay, so as far as how to monetize it, so you could monetize it as a podcast, right? With ads, but oftentimes, I'm sorry, Bridget, I don't know your niche, but oftentimes people in our space, they don't do that. And instead they push them towards wherever they nurture their people. So like Faith Mariah pushes people towards her Facebook group because that's where she nurtures her people. And then they end up in her world, right? In her sales funnel and just in her general sphere. And then when she runs a sale, they buy her stuff because they know, like, and trust her because she's been nurturing the crap out of them, right? So that's what I feel like that's what most bloggers do in our space. So like think of James Wedmore. He does the same thing, right? He gives away this tons and tons of value all year round. And then he has people in his orbit as a result of the podcast. And then once a year when his giant sale comes up, which is like happening now, those people know, like, and trust him, right? And it feeds into monetization that way. Yeah, Paulette says, I remember True Crime Diary days. Yeah, that was Annie's first niche. Oh, I love this. I love you guys. Yeah, Amy says, love Faith. I found her through her podcast, which are just repurposed lives from her group. Yes, right? And that's another thing. Okay, I know I'm kind of getting off what you were asking here, Bridget, but I'll go back. But that's another thing. It doesn't have to look like everybody else's stuff, right? A podcast does not have to be you sitting down and reading some script, right? Can you imagine if Faith Mariah had asked somebody like, hey, do you think that I could just take the sound recordings from my live Q&As in my Facebook group and turn them into a podcast and it would be successful? Chances are somebody probably would have told her no, right? Like nobody would want to listen to that. I don't care. I listen to them all day, every day, right? And they're, the sound quality isn't perfect because it's a live, right? Stuff happens on a live. There's no editing later. Anyway, and also it makes it super relatable. So just experiment is what I'm saying. On that note, there's no reason why you can't have an entire podcast of you reading your blog posts. The only thing I would caution there is sounding like an audiobook. Does anybody else love podcasts, but audiobooks bore the shit out of them? That's me. Audiobooks are just not conversational enough for my brain, and I get distracted and I tune out. I still listen to them. I have audiobooks galore, but I have to do it in like 5-10 minute chunks. I can't. They're just not entertaining enough. So that is what I would caution is the energy level, right? Or I don't know, maybe not everybody is as ADHD as I am and they can totally handle the audiobooks. Yep. Oh boy, another K turn. That's right. Okay, so as far as monetizing, so yeah, you're going to put all this time into turning your blog posts into an audio format, which, by the way, in that blog post that I'll put up for you guys later, there are plugins that they're text to speech that will read your blog post to the readers. And that's the easiest way to do it. And it doesn't take you any time at all. So that is a way to offer them another way to digest your content in audio format that requires little to no effort from you. But if you are going to spend all of the time recording your own voice, reading your blog posts, it better be for a good reason, right? Because that could be pretty time consuming. You could repurpose them to YouTube. You could turn them into a podcast. If you are just going to embed them on your blog, I would say that you're going to want to be getting those people into a funnel, right? So make sure that you're adding in calls to action for whatever it is you're selling. If you're just embedding it on your blog post and you are not going to republish that content anywhere else, but you can totally put it on YouTube and just have a picture, right? Playing with your voice over it. Like my brother and me, they do that. They republish their podcast episodes on YouTube and they just have like one static picture going the whole time. And people can consume it that way. That can be monetized with ads. Or again, you can push people into your funnel. Paulette says, audiobooks with narrators that have accents are my favorite. Just listened to 2 Irish narrators. Loved it. Yeah. Paulette, have you ever seen Jacksepticeye? Speaking of wonderful Irish accents, Jacksepticeye. My daughter turned me onto him because he like plays video games on YouTube, and it's actually super entertaining. Okay, there is another good example of something that I just never got because I found it really boring. Like, how can people just sit there and watch other people play video games all day? My daughter showed me Jacksepticeye. He is funny as shit. So yes, we're watching him play video games, but he's hilarious and he has adorable Irish accent. It's so cute. Oh yeah, Jacksepticeye. Anyway, yeah, Irish accents are the shit. Also Scottish accents. I guess most accents, right? I heard the English one is kind of like really harsh and like not pretty, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, Bridget, I hope that helps. So yeah, if you are not going to monetize it with traditional like podcasting monetization methods, so affiliate links, ads, ads that lead to affiliate links or whatever, then you better be getting those people in a funnel for sure. I wish I knew your niche. Paulette says all accents are great. They make me pay more attention. That's actually a really good point, Paulette. Maybe I should search for books that have accents. Accents only, please. Canadian accents are acceptable. Don't you know it? Okay, friends. I hope that helps. Thank you all for all the fantastic questions and just for being here and like being badasses all around. Y'all my favorite. Don't forget about the Sanity Savings Systems Summit next week. It's free and like 15 presenters. So you're going to learn how to streamline your blogging biz. It's going to help you out a lot. Especially a lot of you are talking about scaling. When you scale, you like how disorganized your blogging biz becomes glaringly apparent really fast. Take it from me. I know. Yeah, so definitely attend the summit. And also I'll do a TikTok follow just so we can all watch each other tickety-tockety. Nancy says, I just heard that Ezoic recently lifted its 10,000 page view requirement for applying to their ad network. Haven't done anything yet, but intend to. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, a lot of them lifted their requirements up. This year has been a year of wild change in that online monetization world, right? When COVID came out, Amazon slashed all of their COVID came out like it was a movie debut. When COVID happened, Amazon slashed all their affiliate commissions. You know, it kind of rocked the world, but also like that stuff's never going to stop. You know what I mean? That's the world we live in. Internet years are like dog years. So for every 1 year, it's like the equivalent of 7 years everywhere else. It moves really, really fast. And just being an entrepreneur is something pretty much every day. And it's like becoming comfortable with that. And I'm not saying you're not comfortable with this, Nancy. It's just this tangent I'm going on. Becoming comfortable with the unexpected happening. So kind of expecting the unexpected and not letting it change your baseline. So like, you know, stay chill. Here's your baseline, right? Something bad happens, you're still baselining. It's just like, okay, that happened. I'm going to fix it. I'm not going to worry about it. Like, you know, I invested 3 months and a good amount of money in a Facebook ads course that I thought was going to change my business. And it was certainly starting to. And then Facebook ads disabled my account. So I just pivoted. I ran ads on different networks and played with them. And I just decided to do something else while they're getting their shit together. Seriously, Facebook? Seriously? I've sent you my ID like 20 times. Anyway, yeah, just getting used to the unexpected. Yesterday, my site was down. All Big Scoots, anybody who was with Big Scoots, their site was down yesterday, which is weird. Big Scoots is fantastic. Like really good. I literally was not worried about it at all. And a year ago, that would have sent me into a tizzy. And it's just funny. Entrepreneurship makes you tough as freaking nails. You have to be tough and not let this shit get you down. Right. So things are always going to there's always going to be something, right? And we just got to have like our baseline of chill. So think of yourself on the shore and all the somethings are happening on the tide, right? These big waves are happening. So we're on the shore watching this river go by. That is the daily happenings of our blogging business. And every once in a while, big freaking tidal wave comes and crushes everything. But we're on the shore and we're like, huh, okay, look at that. Right? We're not throwing ourselves in the middle of the river getting swept up in the tidal wave. We are watching as non-judgmental observers from the side going, huh, okay. And just trusting that you can figure it out. Y'all got this. Like, you guys are so resourceful and just like crafty and scrappy. Like, you guys got what it takes to stick around. So whatever happens, don't panic. You got it. Stay chill. Friends, I love you so much. I got to go to the day job. I got to take the kiddo to school. We only got 2 days left of school, you guys. Yay. And then it's summer. Happy Thursday. I will see you soon. Look for the TikTok thread in the group and we'll follow each other. It'll be fun. See you soon.